Hey guys, Mr. Amazing here, coming at you again with another great video. Today's video is going to be extra special. It's going to be over me going into two things I usually don't talk to anybody about, and normally don't ever open up to anyone about. But since you guys are so supportive of me and always hear from me and things like that, I just thought it'd be fair to you all to work with me here at 6 a.m. Fair to you all to be able to know me a little bit more deeply. But that also being said, today's video is going to be another. I have another speech written out and things like that, so I'm going to be reading that off to you all. But just really work with me on here. I'm really working on that. I'm going to really crack down on that and things like that. But just for right now, I'm just writing out the speeches because I'm still losing my train of thought. But like I said before in the last video, guys, just look for my growth over time. And also, Michael Jordan excused the bacon neck. These are my sleeping clothes, so don't kill me. Anyways, today's video title: My Struggles in the Past with Anxiety and Depression. Anxiety. This feeling in no way, shape, form, or fashion was an easy thing to manage, change, or completely get over. Battling anxiety for me was something on a whole new level. Whenever it hit me, it was always at the worst times. It was hard for me to speak because I would get a pretty bad lisp from it. It was hard for me to focus because my heart literally felt like it was going to beat out of my chest. It was hard for me to keep my cool whenever I did have anxiety hit. I started sweating, and the more I tried to think about being literally in Antarctica, the more I would sweat, as crazy as that sounds. And just overall, it was hard for me to hear, communicate, hard to relax, and it just had completely overwhelmed me mentally. And that's saying something, considering that I really worked hard on that mental trait. Heck, I remember back when I would be in class and the teacher is calling roll, and whenever she would get to my name, I couldn't even perform the simple task of saying "here," because I was already thinking all kinds of nonsense, and by the time she got to me, I would already have a sweat going and couldn't even open my mouth. Anxiety sucked for me. I also remember this one time. Back when I used to work in corporate America, there was this girl that I used to work with. I won't say her name, but we used to have all kinds of fun and things, like that together. I mean, we used to talk to each other about literally everything, and even had sleepovers and cuddled. She truly was my best friend. But anyways, one day we were talking about something deep. Just me and her one-on-one, and we made eye contact for a really long time. Not just any kind of eye contact though. I'm talking that in the heat of the moment eye contact. But anyways, because good guy, I didn't let anything happen, and I also didn't let her stay that night. But after she left, I started thinking. The most prominent thought that I had was, how long did she have feelings for me? And after getting into deep thought and thinking back, I realized that I had developed feelings for her as well. So the next day, I go into work, and I'm not going to lie to you, things were pretty awkward. The entire shift, we didn't say a word to one another, but I made eye contact multiple times for very short periods of time. But anyways, after the shift was over, I went to my car, naturally. Before I could even start the engine, there she was knocking on my window saying that we needed to talk. And so I listened, of course. But after everything was said and done, we hung out again that night and had another sleepover and cuddled up. But get this, the strangest thing was, I was cuddled up with her and it felt so right, but I couldn't sleep and my mind was going. So after the night was all good and over, we wake up and I got dressed faster than I ever have in my entire life, like legit. So while she's getting ready, I'm sitting on the couch and thinking all kinds of nonsense once again. We take my car to go into work. Um, I didn't say a thing the entire drive or the entire shift. And again, while the shift was going on, we made eye contact but didn't say a word to each other. But when the shift ended again, I naturally went to my car and was getting ready to leave. And again, before I could even start my engine, there she was tapping on the window saying that we needed to talk. So guess what I did? I told her that I needed some time to think. So I went home and I did exactly that. That being said, I wasn't as mature back then as I am now, and more nonsense started to run through my head. But long story short, I avoided her for 2 weeks because I developed anxiety towards the entire situation and couldn't even talk to my best friend because it felt like I was trying to ask out the hottest girl in high school to prom, if you know what I mean. She knew all along that I had anxiety really, really bad, but it never flared up around her, like, ever. I'm guessing that when it did start messing up around her, that over that 2 weeks a time that I idiotically spent avoiding her, that I pretty much burned out her understanding and patience for me. She hooked up with a guy at a party and got pregnant. I later found out that the girl that she went to the party with was no good and pressured her into hooking up with someone that night. My best friend was not a virgin, and let's just say her favorite fun water of choice was Hennessy. We drank a lot of that stuff together, but we never did anything. We are not alcoholics, people, by the way. But anyways, I lost all feelings I had for her after finding out her pregnancy, but still tried to make our friendship work. I got a job at US Cellular 2 weeks after that happened, so I went there for work. And we pretty much grew apart there. We pretty much grew apart from there. She got busy, I got busy, and time extinguished our bond over time. I haven't heard or seen from her in 2 years. I really, really am curious about her whereabouts. And I even went out of my way to try to find her on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but no dice. But pretty much anxiety ruined what could have been for me in the past. Next, depression. And due to all the events that happened and the fact that I had just recently got out of that dark time where no one cared for me and that I was all alone trying to make a way, and just recently had found my best friend shortly after, I fell into the deepest depression I had ever went through in my entire life after losing her. All I did for days was lay in bed and not really eat. I looked out my window and just watched the days die away. I was in bad shape. I felt like I was all alone in the world again. And for about 2 months, nothing felt real. I was just completely numb to reality. But one day I prayed to be happy again and began the process of getting my mind back right. So I worked out and listened to positive audio and did whatever it took to try and get out of that deep depression. It was a success, but that scar, it hasn't completely healed, and I will tell you guys that much. That's not the first time I've been really depressed either. My life from age 8 to 18 hasn't been unicorns, rainbows, and sunshine, but it made me into who I am today, and why I had to take it upon myself to develop myself into a much greater man overall. Otherwise, that depression and negativity would have killed me. But all I know is, when I do have kids, I'm going to tell them to follow their hearts and not their minds, and not make the same mistake that I did in my life, and just take that to heart. So, but yeah, guys, man, like, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I'm gonna take a nap now. Haven't slept in almost 24 hours, but just remember, guys, here you are all amazing. And what's my motto? Live, laugh, love. Peace.